What to do now that football season is essentially over? Come watch some NBA. We have a great season going with a plethora of storylines. And the best way to stay up to date? Welcome to Season 3.
For 3 for the win, yes!
Your daily fast break assist for all things NBA. Under 30 minutes, Monday through Friday. We give you a concise recap of all the games, the best players and plays, and all the news and injuries you need to know. Don't know where to start? We'll get up to speed with my mid-season report card to get you all caught up. You'll soon figure out Season 3s is all you need to stay up on the NBA. Like and subscribe, share with a friend to stay in the know. Let's get you up on the weekend that was. Group chat. Game of the night. For those of you that are new, we start, as always, the group chat game of the night. This is the one everyone would have been talking about. There was just one game on Sunday night. It was the West leading Thunder against the Portland Trailblazers in Portland. Blazers opened up a 10-point lead in the first quarter. Thunder swing back, take the biggest lead of the contest in the second, go up 19. The West's best lead the rest of the way. 118-108, the Thunder win. 35 points from SGA, 24 from J-Dub. But the bigger story emerging out of this one with the Thunder victory, they now have the best record in the NBA at 36-8. They are a half game ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Fastest group chat game of the night segment we have ever had, and that's because I wanted to get to the weekend slate. Talk Friday and Saturday, wrapping up Week 14 rivalry week in the NBA. The league also ducked any sort of rating smoke from the NFL, choosing to play all of their teams except for 2 on Saturday, 14 games. So everyone in action except for the Thunder and the Blazers. Here's what happened, what you need to know. Victor Wembanyama had taken his Spurs across the pond to play in his home country of France. 2 games against the Pacers. Thursday, we saw San Antonio win in a blowout, but the Pacers returned the favor. Saturday, a blowout of their own team split for the NBA Paris games. It was a tough weekend for the team with the best record in the NBA coming into the weekend, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They lose Friday night at the 76ers. Did get some help from Philadelphia's mascot on an inbound play, but they did get outplayed as well. Come off of that back-to-back, go home in Cleveland, face the second seeded in the West team, Houston Rockets. And this is a Cleveland team that had just 4 losses on the season as of January 9th. But after losing to the Rockets, they've lost 5 since January 9th, including their last 3. They are 4.5 games clear of the Celtics, but is it a sign of bigger problems in Cleveland? I don't know. Some of those were without Evan Mobley. He did come back for the Houston Rockets game after missing 4. So we will keep an eye on Cleveland. More on them on what to watch. End of the show. Those chasing Celtics after 21-point shellacking, courtesy of the Lakers. Thursday night, it brought further questions of the Celtics malaise that has been talked about in their locker room. Well, they found some temporary reprieve Saturday in Dallas. 15-point win in the first meeting of the season between last year's finals opponents. Monday night, they will welcome those Houston Rockets to TD Garden. So we'll find out a little bit more as to where the Celtics are at. Speaking of those Mavs, they were dealt another injury blow, down to just one big man now, healthy after a foot fracture suffered by Maxi Kleber. And also still no idea when the reigning Western Conference champions will get Luka Doncic back from his calf injury. Their opponents in last year's Western Conference Finals, Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, found a way to cool down a red-hot Nikola Jokic. 34 points for Edwards in their victory as he became the Wolves' career leader in three-point makes in just his 5th season. He's shooting 45% from 3 this season. Having a great year from deep. Having a great year overall. Could have been an all-star. Wasn't voted, but will be a reserve, no doubt. Wolves 3 games above 500 after beating the West's hottest team at the time. Hottest team in the West now, the Memphis Grizzlies. No all-star starter. I thought Jaren Jackson Jr. should have gotten a starting nod. Figures to be in the reserves, one would think. They are 3rd in the West, the Grizzlies. They have won 6 in a row. They ended the Pelicans' season-best 4-game, yes, those Pelicans, season-best 4-game win streak. That was on Friday night and then easily dispatched of the Jazz. So 2 easy ones for Memphis. They handle their business. Find out a little bit more. Monday night, they play at the Knicks. New York, 2 all-star starters, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns. They wallop the Kings on Saturday night. They welcome 2 through 5 in the West to the Big Apple across the course of the next 7 days. Grizzlies, Nuggets, Lakers, Rockets. Find out a little bit more about the Knicks coming off a little bit of a malaise. Lakers, that rivalry game Saturday night, LeBron versus Steph, goes the way of LeBron James, 25-5-12, gets some help from Anthony Davis, who has said that the Lakers are just one piece away. Davis that game, 36-13, 3-3. Steph Curry had lingering thumb issues across his shooting hand. He was 0 for 8 in the second half, 4 of 17 in the game. The 2 LA teams are the ones fighting to stay ahead of one another for that final guaranteed playoff spot. Remember, 6 teams make the playoffs guaranteed. That is the cutoff line for the play-in. The other LA team playing in Inglewood, the Clippers, well, they kept pace with a 10-point victory over the Milwaukee Bucks, in which James, I'm still that guy, pal. Harden had 40 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. He also got 33 from should be an all-star reserve Norman, the air fryer Powell. The Clippers and the Lakers stay locked in that 5-6 battle. Nets retired Vince Carter's jersey Saturday night, but were retired by the Jimmy Butler-less Heat, 106-97. Miami is an even 500 at 22-22. Another team that has been hovering around 500 and rumored to want Jimmy Butler, the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant had 29 in the process of giving the Washington Wizards their 13th consecutive loss, easily the worst team in the league at 6-38. Now the Suns, 2 games better than 500, 23-21. They are 8th in the West. Do you think that they get any better with Jimmy Butler, or is this just to get off of Bradley Beal's deal? Even if they end up re-signing Jimmy Butler, I just don't see how Jimmy Butler makes Phoenix a better team. It has to just be to get away from the Bradley Beal deal that everybody knew wasn't the deal that you wanted to take on. Let's talk underperformance, because when it comes to such, nobody has the Sixers beat on the season. But they have 2 weekend wins. They moved to 17-27. They are 1 game out of the final play-in spot. But yet another injury concern. Paul George exits Saturday win over the Chicago Bulls with a pinky injury that's going to require an MRI. Will he be joining Joel Embiid, who has played just 13 games this season, for an extended period on the bench? The Orlando Magic, they have battled their injuries to their 2 stars as well, but finally back in the fold. They'd hit the skids, 5 losses in a row, headed in the wrong direction in the East standings. At one point it was looking, hey, could they make a play for 3rd or 4th in the East? But they have Banchero and Franz Wagner back. Detroit, they were down big, but both score 32 Saturday night. 25 from Wagner in the 4th quarter, secured a much-needed win against their closest East competition currently in the standings. Also Saturday, the Atlanta Hawks continue to show they are not about that life. Back-to-back losses to the Toronto Raptors. It makes it 4 losses in a row for the Hawks, 9th in the East. And the final game, I guess you need to know this one too. The Hornets beat the Jazz in a battle of 12-win teams. That's everything you need to know from across the course of the weekend. Heavy Pour, leading score of the night, presented by the wonderful folks over at Portland Water. Check them out at drinkpdxwater.com. Just 1 game to choose from, and no surprise, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 35 that he poured in this evening, securing the victory for his team that is now the best record in the NBA, half game ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Injuries and news. Not a ton happening off the court in the NBA this weekend. The biggest storyline in the league right now, it's the looming trade deadline next Thursday, February 6th. We may see one of the most involved, convoluted trades in NBA history with the moving of Jimmy Butler. All the reporting is that everybody wants in. Ultimately, it seems like to move money under the restrictions of the current CBA to get under aprons so they can potentially hit the buyout market. I don't know. It seems like the Butler domino is the one holding everything up. His 2-game suspension is now up. Will he finally see some resolution to the NBA's biggest soap opera? Pat Riley, Jimmy Butler, the Miami Heat. Will it come to a conclusion? Hopefully soon, so we can just focus on the remainder of the regular season. All-star starters were announced last week on Thursday. We will get the reserves chosen by the coaches coming this Thursday. House shoes. Kicks for the night. Well, I busted out the book one. Rattlesnakes, snakeskins, rattlesnakes, I think. And these I got for part of the signature sneaker showdown. But I needed a pair of kicks to rock to do the G League game I worked on Friday night, and figured, hey, the book ones probably look good with a suit, and they did indeed, especially this colorway. I'm a fan of the book ones and what they're doing. One of the first court shoes, on-court performance shoes that has some value and translates to off the court. So check them out if you get a chance. House shoes tonight. Why watch the NBA? This will be an entry point, I believe, for a lot of folks coming off of football season. College football now has closed the door on their first expanded playoff, and the NFL awaits to play a Super Bowl rematch from 2 years ago between the Eagles and the Chiefs. So a lot of people will be checking into the NBA right now. And why should they watch the NBA? If you're following adjacently, a lot of the noise around the NBA has been either neutral to negative about the ratings and other things, three-point shooting, that the league is suffering from right now. But I completely disagree. If you are a watcher, listener of Z's and Threes, you know I have been campaigning that the league is in a phenomenal place of growth. Why is that? Because I think we are at a true changing of the guard. The signs have been there. The last two champions, last year the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown finally breaking through. The year before that, Denver Nuggets led by Nikola Jokic. This year, we have the two best records in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren for the Thunder. On the Cavaliers side, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. These aren't necessarily household names for people that may be jumping into the NBA, but those are the two best teams that are on historic win paces for their respective franchises. And the league may continue to try to play the hits of LeBron, Steph, and KD. Look no further than Rivalry Week. This league is stocked with generational young talent. And I say young because there are stars that are still young. Giannis, he's 51 days over 30. He's the league's most physical force. Nikola Jokic, next month he will turn 30. He is playing the self-admitted best basketball of his life, and this is for a guy that already is a one-time champ, has a finals MVP and a three-time league MVP, and he's right in that MVP conversation this year with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is making a claim to become a household name. I think most people were still calling him Shy. It is Shai, but he is fighting for his seat at the champions table this season. Can he earn it? Jason Tatum did. He is already there. He's looking for more. Edwards, Brunson, Booker, Fox, Cunningham, Ja, Wembanyama, Mitchell, Hero, Trae Young, LaMelo, Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün. There's a list of incredibly young, talented players that are the next era for this NBA. Look at the standings. In the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder, followed by the Houston Rockets, the Memphis Grizzlies. Those are three young teams. You have in the East, the Cavaliers, as chronicled, up there with a retooled New York Knicks, wedged in between the Boston Celtics. We need to stop looking for what was and watch what is. This is a great season and is building to be an even better finish. It's a finals race that looks increasingly wide open. Boston came into this season the hands-down favorite to repeats, but they've hit some midseason doldrums that's opened it up a little bit, especially considering that there are two teams that have better records. Couple that with a historic MVP battle. Two guys that are doing things that we have not seen, maybe ever, going back and forth. Last week alone, Shai, 54 points. Then Jokic comes back with a 30, 20, 15 for the first time since 1968. This is setting up for a remarkable next chapter in the NBA. We've already wrote the preamble, but I think this next 5 to 10 years will usher in a new era. So if you're looking for a point to jump in, now is the time. Get on board. All right, you're all hyped up, you're sold. Where do I start? What do I watch? Good news. Monday night, 12 games. You want to start in Cleveland. Pistons, Cavaliers, Cavs trying to correct their 3-game slide. Detroit is no pushover. Houston, Boston, both teams respectively number 2 in their conferences. Second meeting of the season, Boston won the first in Houston. Memphis and New York, that's 3v3 seed-wise, although they will play 5v5 on the court. Finish your night out with the LA Clippers against the Phoenix Suns. Should be a fun Monday night. You may be saying, well, I can't watch all of those games, so guess what? I got you. That's what Z's and Threes is here for, to cover the whole slate. We will be back here on Tuesday. Everything that you need to know, recapping every moment that you missed from the slate of games on Monday night. If you like the show, like, subscribe, share with a friend. We hope to see you throughout the remainder of the NBA regular season. Peace.